Former National Press Secretary for the Trump campaign and former Principal Deputy Press Secretary at the White House, Hogan Gidley. Hogan, good morning. Okay, so despite that endorsement from President-elect Donald Trump, Johnson, he's far from a sure thing at this moment. Like Mark just mentioned, Thomas Massie has pretty much said he's a hard no. We've heard people on the fence like Victoria Spartz. How do you see this unfolding today?
Well, we've got some choices to make, I think, today in this country, especially over at the House of Representatives, and that is, do you want to move forward with the America First agenda? Do you want to provide relief for the American people who've been suffering now for the last 4 years under the horrible policies, the crippling ideology of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Or do you want to turn the page and start to move forward immediately with the America First agenda for Donald Trump? And a lot of these members have, a decision first and foremost on Speaker. Johnson is obviously the one who's out front, who has been leading the way now for quite some time, navigating some pretty historic waters, having the smallest margin of majority in the history of the Congress. And today's the day for choosing. And while some of these members may be trying to hold out their vote and get some goodies at the last minute, I don't know that that's going to work. The American people are demanding a fast-moving government for the first time since Donald Trump was president. They now have unified government with the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the White House. And, I think they want their elected representatives, regardless of chamber, regardless of body, to get to work and get to work now.
Hogan, it seems to me, and I think you hinted at it, that this is a negotiating tactic. And I've seen some reporting that Chip Roy may be trying to get the rules chair position, which to me could be equally disastrous when you put basically the leader of the never or always no conference in charge of rules. I mean, is that what this is about? Just trying to negotiate some piece of legislation or a seat on a committee, and eventually they're going to get to yes, but we've got to go through this nonsense to get there?
Look, I don't think anyone else can do this job. I don't think anyone has the votes other than Mike Johnson. And so anything else is political theater at this point, trying to hold hostage a vote for what you want. I understand the negotiations. That's what a lot of members of Congress are kind of used to. I'll tell you what they're not used to, Mark. 65% of them have never had unified government. 65% of the ones in the Republican conference have never had Trump as president. And they're going to be in for a rude awakening when they understand, as you and I did working in the previous administration, that everything emanates from the White House at this point. It's rare that something comes from Congress because Donald Trump's agenda is the one that was on the ballot. Donald Trump's agenda is the one that carried the day. So the American people want change. They want it now. They're looking for their leaders to listen to them and to respond. And anything else that takes away from that, is problematic. And those particular members, whoever they may be, are going to have to answer for that in their own districts.
Yeah, Hogan, I know you just said that no one else has the votes, but if not Mike Johnson, then who? Are there any other names floating around? Are there anybody else that somebody else wants, even though, like you just said, they wouldn't necessarily have the votes either?
Well, that's the deal. I think the issue here is a lot of people have ideas and a lot of people want to stand in the way of progress. A lot of people want to stand up and say, all right, we don't like this particular bill, or we don't like this particular vision, or we don't like this speaker. But the question is, okay, fine, then what's your solution? And they don't have any. What you have on the table, though, in front of you is something that the American people voted for. And Donald Trump has the right to put the team on the field he wants, whether that be at the cabinet level, whether that be in his own administration in the White House, or whether it be in Congress. He has thrown his support behind Mike Johnson. That's what the American people gave him the right to do, the mandate, winning all the swing states, winning the popular vote. This is the team he wants on the field, and Mike Johnson has been very clear as well. Donald Trump calls the plays. We're going to run them. And so that agenda lies in peril. The certification of the incoming Donald Trump presidency is in peril. All of the things we want to do, whether it be lower taxes, secure the border, fix our economy, bring down crime, all of those issues are in jeopardy if this vote doesn't go through today.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.